Hey designers, and welcome back. Today we have 3 super fun Dollar Tree DIYs perfect for Valentine's Day, and each of them is $5 or less. For the first project, you will need one of the wire heart rings, some of the Chanel strips, and 2 scarves. Before you get started on this project, go ahead and cut the tags off of those scarves, and then with the tag side down, fold those scarves in half. Flip your frame over to the back because we're going to begin working there by cutting one of our Chanel strips in half and tying it right to that wire frame. You'll notice that I'm going to give it 2 quick twists to make sure that it's nice and tight, and then we're going to secure scarf number 1 using a few twists there as well. Once that is securely in place, wrap that little strip right around the wire frame. This will give some added security. And now we can begin wrapping the frame, making sure to keep that scarf as wide as possible. This will eliminate overage whenever you are wrapping that around, and it will help those scarves extend further. If you do that with the right spacing, 2 scarves should be plenty. As you work yourself around that frame, make sure that you keep a nice tight grip on that scarf, pulling it as taut as possible. When you get to the end, you're going to want to make sure that you pull that from both corners, pulling it right against that frame. You see how that's forming there? You don't want any overage hanging over because we want this to look as tailored as possible. Now it's time to tie on a second little Chanel strip. Give it 2 little twists and then secure your scarf right on top. This time, instead of closing that Chanel strip all the way, you're going to leave it loose because this is where we're going to connect scarf number 2. Going in with scarf number 2, we're going to place it right on top of that little Chanel strip. Give it a few good twists, and then again, we're going to secure that against the frame of our heart. Once that is nice and secure, we're going to begin wrapping this side of our frame just like we did the other side. Working ourselves up to that little top point, it is very important to keep a tight grip on that fabric because we want the form of the heart to actually show. Here is where you can roll over the edge of that scarf so that none of the loose edges are showing. Now we're going to find a little hole in the back where we can place our 3rd Chanel strip, and then we're going to secure it all down using the same twisting patterns that we have used before. You will notice that as I'm securing the scarf in place, I double it back over to secure it one final time. This will make sure that nothing is hanging out, being exposed, because again, we're going for a nice tailored look. When you get all of that twisted together, find your little loop and then tuck it inside, and voila! Look how beautiful and simple this little wreath is, and you can finish it in just about 10 minutes and for just $3. For project number 2, you will need some of these beautiful little jewel heart place keepers, a sheet of cardstock, and a marker. I'm going to begin this project by cutting out my little place cards. I'm going to use the dimensions of 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches, but feel free to use whatever size you're comfortable with. We're going to be putting the names of our Valentines on these cards, and we want to make sure that it goes no lower than that little heart frame, so measure that off 1 inch. Now you can begin hand drawing or using stickers. You can even use some of your little blingy jewels from Dollar Tree, but when it comes to Valentine's, I think a handwritten sentiment speaks love better than anything else. So I'm going to write the name of my 3 Valentines this year. Slip your little place cards right in that holder and then set them out to show the ones you love that you really do love them. Look how cute these look, and this does come in a 3-pack for just $1. For our final project today, we will need one of the little buckets, some floral foam, some loose rose petals, a package of the heart picks, and some of the floral hearts. And don't forget, you'll need a glue gun. Before we begin this project, we need to separate out each little branch from our floral stems. Use a pair of wire cutters to do that, and then remove the leaves and tags. Next, we're going to mark our little floral foam, and we want to make sure that this is the same height as our little bucket. No higher and no shorter. Using a little cutter you can also get from Dollar Tree, we're going to snip that right off. Now, because I want to use my bucket again for other projects, I don't want to glue my foam into the bottom of my bucket. So instead, I'm going to patch together some little pieces on all four sides that's going to help this tightly wedge down inside of that bucket. This will enable me to remove the center part after Valentine's Day and use my bucket again for other events. Once you have that foam in place, go ahead and start placing all your little hearts. You can use any design you want to. I started with all of the red ones since there were less of those, and now I'm going and filling in all the gaps with the pink ones. Remember to stagger your stems so that you have some shorter and some taller. This helps give it just a little bit more of a professional look. And this is what you should have so far. To cover up all that unsightly green foam, we're going to use those rose petals. I'm going to use just a little bit of hot glue on the tip of each petal and work my way around, making sure all the green is covered up. I will do this in a couple different layers, which is going to give it that more rosy appeal. If you are interested in those little finger protectors, I'll have a link posted for you down below. Continue working yourself around evenly, and when you get to the very center, it may be a little hard to get some glue in there. You can just place the little petals free form, and look how beautiful. This little piece makes a perfect accent for this time of year, and your bucket is totally reusable. Now that I love. This little piece costs just $5. And there you go, 3 perfect little pieces for Valentine's Day. And the good thing about it is we were able to do all 3 of these projects for a total of $10. That's right, super affordable, super easy. I want to thank all of you so very much for watching and hope you all have a very happy Valentine's Day.